Hey guys, so today I'm filming my Throwback Thursday for January 2013. If you have not seen this series from me before, basically I am reviewing the products that were in my favorites 2 years ago and seeing if they are still favorites now. I got inspiration for this series from Kristen Game. She's been filming this on her channel for a while and I really enjoyed watching it, so I decided to film it on my channel. I will have her playlist and her channel linked down below. You should definitely check her out. And I'm also going to have my playlist of this series linked down below. I think this is the 4th time I've done it, and I'm also going to have linked down below the original haul video, and I will list all the items that I mentioned. So I always think it's funny to prepare for this video because I will watch that past favorites, and I always cringe at the way I filmed videos 2 years ago, and I have become a lot more confident in the way that I'm speaking, and I'm much better at editing, and the lighting is better and the quality is better, everything. So I have definitely improved in the past 2 years, which is really good news. So I will have that link down below in case you're interested to see how awkward I was 2 years ago. So anyway, I'm just going to jump into the products. So the first thing that I had mentioned was the Soho Beauty Sponge. I had been using that to blend out my foundation. I no longer have that one. Instead, I have the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. But in general, that was the first time I used any kind of foundation sponge to apply my foundation, and I loved it. The Soho sponge is skinnier than the Real Techniques, and it is shaped like a football. So I did just have to pat it into my skin, and it did take a little bit longer because it was smaller. Also, that did not expand, but when it got wet, it just got soft. I think it applied foundation nicely, but I much prefer the Real Techniques. It just covers more area, and I like the shape of this one a lot better. And the Beauty Blender, I think, is better too. But if you're unable to get your hands on Real Techniques, or the Beauty Blender is too expensive for you, I would recommend the Soho. I think it works nice. You can find it at some Walmart and some Walgreens. The next brush I mentioned was the e.l.f. blush brush from their Studio line, and I had been using this to highlight my face. Now, I use this brush to highlight for like a year, but I have found a different brush that I like more, and that is the Real Techniques setting brush. The shape of these brushes are similar because they are slim and tapered to a point, but I like the Real Techniques better because it is smaller and it's much more precise when applying my highlight. I don't like my highlight to get too close to my under eye or too much into my blush, which is why I prefer this small brush. The e.l.f. one works really well too. It will just cover a larger area. It really depends on your face and your preference, but either of these work perfectly for highlight, and this would also work really nicely for setting the under eyes. You could use this to apply blush if you were interested in that. I just think my cheeks are a little bit too big for this brush, but love both of these brushes for highlighting the face. It really does just depend on your personal preference. The next brush that I had mentioned was the Real Techniques blush brush, and I used this for blush 2 years ago. Now I do not use it for blush. I think it is too big for that. What I do use this brush for is for bronzer and also just to blend out my cheek product. The size and the tapered point and how soft it is and the density and everything, I think is perfect for bronzer, just to get right around your face, the E3, without concentrating too much product. And I also really love this to blend out all my cheek products because the whole brush is about the size of my cheek. So I do love this brush, but it isn't my favorite for blush anymore. The next thing I mentioned were my Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes. That Christmas I had purchased 2 of the full size, and I got the 2012 holiday set. And I do like Tarte blushes a lot, but they aren't really my must-haves because they are a bit more of a harder texture. They're still pigmented, but they're hard. I much prefer my blushes from MAC and the Balm because they're a lot softer, but these are still great blushes. From the holiday set, 2 of these are still in my collection, and these 2 I have in a makeup sale pile. They just aren't ones that I reach for, so I will show you these. First, we have the shade Magic, which is a matte pinky coral color. This year, Sephora released a little mini Tarte set for Black Friday, and that was the shade that was included, which is awesome. I love this color. And then we have Fantastic, which is a matte bubblegum pink. Now, the formula of these two matte minis versus the matte individual are quite different. These are a lot more soft and smooth and pigmented, and these are more of a harder texture. And the other two shades would be Angelic, which is a highlight that just is a little too natural for my liking, and then Stellar, which is a shimmery brown tan color, which I don't like on my skin tone. But then the two full-size shades that I have would be Blissful, which is a matte peach, and then the oh so famous Tarte Exposed, and this is a matte neutral rosy tone. This was not a favorite until this fall and winter time. This is one of my top 3 fall blushes. It is so beautiful and flattering. If you're going to go with a more dramatic eye or lip, I would recommend this blush a lot. I absolutely love this one, and like I said, I like Tarte blushes, but they aren't holy grails of mine. So the next product I mentioned was an eye look using 2 Urban Decay shadows. This one is Decay and this is Tease. These are both in the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette, which I now have, but I love these. I filmed a tutorial, a Valentine's Day tutorial 2 years ago. I'm still obsessed with this look. Decay on the lid, Tease in the crease. The formula of these shadows are incredible. Decay is very metallic, smooth, and super pigmented. Tease, again, pigmented, smooth, love the finish. So both of these shadows are incredible, still a favorite look of mine, and I definitely would recommend it. So I also mentioned a second eye look in this favorite using a black Radiance Downtown Browns palette and some Inglot shadows. So Black Radiance is a sister brand of Wet n Wild. It is made for women of color, but obviously eyeshadows, blushes, lipsticks can fit for any skin tone, and I had just been using this taupe shade, and from Inglot I had been using this shade Pearl 423, which is a burgundy bronze color. I have it swatched right here. Really pigmented formula. So I have not worn this eye look in forever. Honestly, I don't even own this Black Radiance palette anymore. I gave this to my sister because the only shade that I used was that taupe, and I do have other taupes that I prefer. For example, MAC Satin Taupe. So as you can see right there, these two taupe shades are super similar, and I love the formula of MAC shadows more than Wet n Wild, so I tended to reach for Satin Taupe over this shade, so I passed this on to my sister. But I do think that the quality is still really nice at a great price, and I do still love my Inglot shades, but I haven't reached for them in a long time. I purchased these online, and when I got them in the mail, they looked different than they did online, especially this color. It wasn't at all what I thought it was going to be, but the formula of Inglot shadows are really nice. I definitely need to play with this palette more. I have neglected it for a while. The next thing I mentioned was a mascara combo, and the first part of that combo was the CoverGirl Clump Crusher, which I no longer have, but I need to repurchase it. That was a really nice mascara. It really did crush clumps. If you had another mascara that was really clumpy, putting the CoverGirl, one coat of that on top, it would really help fan out your lashes and keep them from being spidery. And that was natural on its own, but you could build it up. And the mascara I put on top of it was my Rimmel Lash Accelerator. In that video, I mentioned that this is a Holy Grail mascara, and it would be for the rest of my life. Well, it's 2 years later, and this is still a Holy Grail mascara of mine. Love the combo of the two of them, and I need to repurchase the CoverGirl Clump Crusher and make sure that I still love it. But I would recommend both of them if you are looking for a natural mascara that won't clump your lashes or make them look spidery. The CoverGirl Clump Crusher is perfect for you. I have recommended that to a couple of my friends. And the Rimmel Lash Accelerator is great for length, volume, thickening, super black and pigmented, so I love this one too. Moving on to some lip products. First would be the EOS Lip Balm in Sweet Mint. I have gone through so many of these. This is my Holy Grail #1 lip balm. So my lips are super sensitive, and because I apply chapstick about every 20 minutes, I can't wear something that is too thin like Soft Lips or Maybelline Baby Lips, and I can't wear something that is too thick like Burt's Bees, which used to be my favorite, but I apply it too much and it will feel kind of heavy on my lips. This is the perfect texture, the perfect mixture of thick and thin. Absolutely love this scent. This is an incredible lip balm. I didn't buy it for a while because I didn't want to feed into the hype, but it's so real. It was a perfect product. So then I had 3 other lip products that I mentioned in my favorites. These were 3 Tarte LipSurgence that I got in a LipSurgence kit. And the first one would be the shade Sweet, which is a luster finish. I mentioned Elite, which is their original LipSurgence lip tint. And lastly, Expose, which is their matte tint. So out of these lip products, The Exposed is my absolute holy grail. I love this formula. I cannot wear most mattes because my lips are too dry. This is the best formula ever. I love this color. It is different from the blush because this one has more of a peach undertone to it instead of a rosy tone to it, but this is a perfect nude for my skin tone. I love this one. The original lip tint isn't super pigmented, and I also find that it dries out my lips a little bit, but I do love this Elite color, and then I don't reach for sweet much anymore, so these are not holy grails. They're not favorites anymore, but this is a must-have of mine. The last two products that I mentioned were a nail combo. First, using the CoverGirl Outlast Stay Brilliant Nail Gloss in Always Naked, and the second shade was China Glaze I'm Not Lying from the Safari collection. Now, I've not used this China Glaze glitter in a long time. Unfortunately, I used to be obsessed with glitters, but I don't wear them as much anymore. But the formula of this is incredible. China Glaze glitters layer upon themselves really well to be really nice and opaque. This has some holographic pieces in it too. This is a great glitter. I actually didn't even remember that I wore these together because I prefer this polish with a different shade in a combo, but this is a dupe for Essie Saint Tropez, a really great nude. I love the formula of this, lasts a long time, opaque in 2 coats, which is impressive for a nude polish. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you film any kind of series like this, I would love to watch it, so let me know in a comment down below. If you've tried out any of these products, please let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.